chaste on the path of righteousness here?
We've been blessed with light.
We've been blessed with light. Okay, starting over. Intro again. Welcome to the Prickly Stitch podcast. My name is Haley. You can find me everywhere on the internet as Lochnitz. This is episode 9?
9?
Right? Yes. Okay.
I don't think we're 10 yet. 10's a big one.
10's a big one. Yeah, that'll be next time. Episode 9. You can also find us on Instagram at Prickly Stitch Podcast. Who the hell are you?
I'm Sock or KB, also known as Misfit Sock on the internet. We're in my house.
We're in my house.
Welcome to my home.
My home.
That's my small boy right here.
Oh, does he ever get up? Like, will he come visit you while you're podcasting ever?
If he feels inclined. He genuinely spends all day in the cat tree.
He's a little hun bun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pour this coffee thing. How's that? Does
Yeah,
that sound
just
normal?
make sure the spout's open.
Yeah. I don't know about all this, but I'm just doing it.
It's just coffee. There's nothing to know.
I know, it's just, I know. Anyway, you want some?
Please.
So, welcome to right here. Do you want to tell us what it is that you're wearing?
I don't know what I'm wearing because Haley made it and gave it to me. I will stand.
I sure did.
Too bright now.
Oh, I'd rather be too bright. Maybe everyone will stop bitching about the black yarn.
I think we're the only ones who bitch.
That is the Ghost Whisperer top. So funny story. Ghost Whisperer is a top that is supposed to be knit with any old like mohair or Surrey alpaca, like some kind of fluffy material, whatever. I really liked like the bones of the Ghost Whisperer and I wanted it to look more like this. But the actual Ghost Whisperer pattern has like bigger sleeves and it's like short with like a scoop neck and stuff. And I was like, oh, that would be so pretty if it, you know, had like a deeper V and then you can just extend the sleeves and like do whatever you want. And I like heavily modified this. Legit like 3 days after I cast it on, I'm like almost at the end of this. I'm doing the second sleeve or something. Parkin Knit, who's the designer of the Ghost Whisperer top, came out with a modified version of the Ghost Whisperer top that literally looked exactly like this. Anyway, so
If you hear dog noises, that's my big loud baby. She will not be silenced.
Yeah, that's that. The yarn that I used was like a very inexpensive 100% acrylic. I would say like probably closer like a Surrey alpaca substitute in terms of like thickness and texture and everything. But I got that Joann Fabrics. I think it was like $3 a skein on sale, and it was, I think the rest of the yarn in that base or brand or whatever had sold, and because there was only black yarn left, and I just like scooped up a bunch of them, and I was like, oh, I'll make something out of this. So yeah, just some cheapo beepo yarn, but honestly like it's held up pretty nice. Like it's not like weird or pilly or anything.
I don't feel like afraid to wear it either.
Yeah, because honestly like it is an incredibly cheap, like all in just the yarn, that was probably like a $15 top, you know.
Probably a great choice for something like this too, because if you were using a mohair, which is like fine, like it's a beautiful fiber, but I wouldn't want to like wear it and then like hang out on the couch all day.
Right, exactly. I remember that being very comfortable too, like on your body. Like acrylic can sometimes get like itchy or like funky or whatever, but I think overall that was a win in terms of like a make, you know.
It feels like nothing. It's also super warm. I think the last time I like wore this out, it was like winter.
Yeah, it's definitely like a winter
just
top.
had like a t-shirt or a tank top underneath it, and I wasn't cold. And today I'm honestly a little too hot, and all I have is like a bralette on underneath.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing two things. One of them is a zip-up sweatshirt that you gave me that's just really nice and broken in. It's like a nice little comfort piece here. And then under my little comfort sweatshirt is a, what's it called? A ripple bralette? Right?
You know, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a ripple bralette, I think, from Jessie May. Everyone's made one. Here's mine. It's like this swampy green color. What did I call this? Smog green. We were definitely affected by the wildfires from Canada. All of our like skies were yellow for like 3 days, and I cast this on the first day of all that, and I like made a joke that it was my smog top. But honestly, like, I like this color for it not being black. Like,
that's a great color.
It's pretty nice. I think it looks nice like on me. It's not like too warm, not too cool. Like, it's really, really like middle of the road, just something different. Oh, I forgot about my little guy.
I was wondering if you were going to show your young man.
You can't see it. Maybe you can a little bit. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to mess with zooming it. But
yeah.
We'll do it in post.
We'll fix it in post. Maybe I'll put in a little picture or something. But I have a little button. It's an armadillo.
I love him.
I just decided to sew him on there because I had it in my, you know, crafty stash of shit that I got. I think I got it from Rags Fiber Art one year at the yarn crawl. I can't really remember, but he's just so cute, and he's just been living in my stuff, and it was like the perfect little
Now he's here.
addition. Now he's my guy. He's my buddy.
That's your pal.
My pal. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I think I finished this. I started this on the 7th. So it took, someone just messaged me on Instagram and said, wait a second, am I reading this right? You have a new podcast going? Yeah. Welcome.
Now you're on it.
You heard it here first. But anyway, sorry, that just distracted me. Yeah, I think this took me like, without any sort of like dedication or whatever, like just a little over a week, not too shabby.
Was taken in one shot, this whole podcast.
Yeah.
No editing was done.
It's like a really solid Quentin Tarantino movie. It's just all in one.
Is that his thing? Is that why people care about him?
No, I think I care about him because I think he's a fantastic director. A lot of feet stuff. But are we out of focus?
Yeah. Oh, we're back.
Oh, here. Speaking of feet stuff.
Oh dear God.
Here's my foot. Here's my foot. I knitted these socks. This is the first time I'm wearing them on the podcast. And it's been a hot minute since we've had any feet on the podcast. So that one's for you. That one's free. Free content. We're trying to diversify our audience here. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about armadillos and someone texting you.
Yeah. Anyway, I have an armadillo on my shirt. It's cute.
The end.
The end.
Are we better now?
We're good. We're wholesome.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get into stuff, but before we do, since I keep forgetting, I have a gift for you.
Stop. You get from me?
Gift for you.
I already know what this is because it says it on the box, but I love. Do you know what's so funny is when I saw that this was like a charm, like a locket style, I was like, I'm gonna put a picture of Sock and Nate in here.
Well, there's still room.
I'll find a very, very small photo of this. Is so amazing. Okay, let me explain to the people what I'm looking at here. So Forest Charm is Maria, who's one of our pals. Hello, we're here. Okay. Maria is one of our pals from the internet. Maria's store is called Forest Charm, and as soon as I saw this bag, I knew what we were getting into here, but Sokka said, oh, I have something for you, for like the past 2 weeks, and we just kept forgetting about it and stuff. So this is what I just opened, this gorgeous, like absolutely beautiful little stitch marker. I don't want it to show my face. I wanted to show the stitch marker. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can tell just from looking at this that this is a little locket. And then I open it up. She already knew what I was thinking. She put a picture of my guy in there. There's probably no, there he is. There's my guy.
It's from the first time you tattooed him.
It's from the first time I tattooed him. He said, bring your shit because you're going to tattoo me too. And I was like, okay.
He's like, are you afraid? And she's like, no.
Yes, I was.
No, I'm not. Why would I be?
No, why would I be? I don't care about you. Ugh. Anyway, that's my defense mechanism. But, so Sock was there when this first happened, and she got a photo, and if you couldn't tell from that, like, literally, like, quarter-inch by quarter-inch picture, my boyfriend was sitting there like this. He was not my boyfriend at the time. He was just a guy from the internet. And he was like doing this because I'm drawing on him. And I'm like, I'm fine. I don't care. This is easy. Ha ha ha. I'm a good tattoo artist. No, I'm not. Anyway, that was a very special moment, and we all got like the funny picture of that moment printed. And she sacrificed hers for the betterment of my stitch marker game. I cannot wait to show this to Nate. He's gonna shit.
I just thought that was such like a Nona thing to have. Like, there's so many stitch markers in the world, right?
Yeah.
There's like infinite, but like I've never seen like, I like practical stuff, so like that's a locket, and it's just such a Nona. I got one for me too, and I have Ian in it.
Stop!
Yeah, I have one of Ian in it.
I love that so much. That's so cute.
Yeah. I was like, well, we're gonna need a couple of those.
I'm gonna fucking scream. Maria's shop for the stitch markers and progress keepers is at woolen.forest. Wait, no.
Nope, that's old.
We'll just put it below. We're bad at this.
Insert here.
Insert here. It's down there.
Forest charms, all you need to know.
Forest charm. I'm gonna die. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Thank you. That's very special. That reminds me of the photo in my wallet. Very special,
yeah,
like
very
that.
Special.
You know?
Also, not quite a gift, but I got but I figured you could maybe give Penny or take some for yourself with the little fruit charms. So we were at Joanne Fabrics a while ago, and they had like a set of fruit like shoe charms. I don't even know what that means exactly, a shoe charm. But I was like, oh, you mean stitch markers?
Yeah.
So I bought a set of the fruit ones, and I took the 2 fruits that I wanted, and now we're just passing the fruit along.
These are so sweet. You're so kind. Thank you.
You're welcome. Those are just silly.
Those are
unrelated to the task at hand gifts.
Yeah. Oh, they're related. It's all in there.
Could have saved it for last, but
no,
I would have forgotten again.
Fracking cute. That was my phone. Sorry. Anyway, what happens now? We said what we're wearing.
Do you have anything finished?
I have a big in my heart and big, if true, and big in stature finished object that I'm so excited to share. So I'm just going to show this now. The Beef Lord is done. Look at my guy. Here he is.
What a substantial lad.
Do you like it? Do you think it's a nice size?
I think so.
It's just like a little lap blanket for like, you know, when you're on the couch all snuggled up or whatever. I mean, you saw Nate under it. Yes, it's just like a little cuddle blanket. Yeah. This is a scrappy granny square blanket I've been working on for 3 months, actually. Just a little over 3 months. But I finally finished it. I had to put it on the floor and like mark out how many more rows I wanted, because this seemed like a project that, and I'm sure if you've ever made something like this, you can totally relate. Blankets never seem long enough, ever. I could have just kept going and going and going and going. So I was like, I need to just finish this. Like, I really don't care. So I do think I made it a good size. There ended up being 234 squares in this.
Wow. And
I put some math on my Instagram, but basically like each square took me about 20 minutes, like start to finish, weaving in ends and all that stuff. Times 234 ended up being like 4,000 some minutes, and it was 72 hours. 72-ish hours of just making the squares.
Wow.
So that was just some fun. You know, how often do you get to like quantify,
right? You
know, that kind of thing. So I thought that was fun and interesting, but I didn't have a pattern. This was just like fingering weight, 4 round granny squares. I used an F hook throughout the entire thing. And then I had some just plain black, kind of unremarkable fingering weight. I think for the most part I used Cascade 220 Superwash Merino. Not the kind that has nylon in it, just 100% merino. I hope to God I never have to like seriously wash this thing like in any sort of way, because my fingertips were black from using it. I had to like wind up the yarn, and like where I was holding it, like streaks of black like all over my hands. Like this color's gonna bleed all over it. I was actually like pretty pissed about it, but you know, whatever, it's fine. It's just like a stinky old throw blanket anyway. But yeah, I used, for something like this, just like as a rough estimate, the black like the joining yarn throughout it. I used 3 skeins of joining yarn for something that's like throw blanket size, and that was a fingering weight yarn. So that, and then just a bunch of scraps, like just random sock stuff. Some of them have nylon in it. Some of this is hand spun. Some of it's just 100% wool. Like, this really would be a godly nightmare to have to launder in any way. So it's just my little couch blanket. I'm actually gonna put it over the back of this chair while we're filming, because that's another thing I wanted it for. I wanted like a little background podcast, you know.
I have a steamer if you ever wanted to use that to clean it.
Yeah, I think I might do one good steam on it before I like really bring it into the rotation of my life and everything. But I was thinking that too, because I do have a steamer and I hardly ever use it. But yeah, that was a 3-month-long project that is now complete. It feels very nice to have that done. I've had all of my mini skeins that I have just like strewn about my living room, and it's been nice to like have that put away.
Yeah.
Feels good.
You can move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever do something like that again. If you want a project like that, I would highly recommend like just do a few extra rounds. Don't make them 4-round squares. It's so tiny. I really got the hang of the join as you go thing, and I am very glad that I learned that skill. But I'm just out here telling you that like it's going to be 72 hours of making squares, and if that sounds miserable, it's because it is.
That honestly made it sound way more attainable to me. 72 hours. Like, if you just want to hyper fixate for a couple days.
Yeah, I definitely had like my hyper fixation days with it. There was a lot of time where like that was all I wanted to work on. It's extremely not portable. That was the only thing that really sucked about it. But yeah, I will probably make something like this again in the future, just like out of 100% acrylic and on a much bigger scale per square. Yeah. But it was really fun. That join as you go method is like the best. 10 out of 10.
5 stars.
5 stars. But yeah, that's a finished object. In addition, that and my top. Yeah, that was what I had.
Nice. I don't have anything finished, so if you don't have anything more that's done, I can move on into whips.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been mostly monogamous on my knitting. And my shawl is just about done, actually.
Wait, you kept going with it?
Yeah. Actually, I ripped everything out from last time. I did put a stitch marker about where we were last time, but I had ripped everything out after that night because we had some beers. And I goofed up whatever I was doing. Yeah. And then I just literally took the next afternoon at work and got back to where I was. Like, this is very quick. And then I decided to just send it and go full send. So,
this is looking spectacular.
If it wasn't Ian's birthday this past week, I would have finished it, but there was just a few nights I didn't work on anything. My colors are different than how they...
This is beautiful.
Help me. I'm all tangled, for one.
No, you're good. We're on the path of righteousness here.
So this is the electric sheep shawl.
This is so fun.
I will insert the name of the designer. I did think it was fun. I like reflected for a long time about if I wanted to just do like a plain shawl like this. Yeah. And I was like, no, I want to make this one. This seems kind of fun. So what you do is you're supposed to use 3 colors, and it's supposed to be like half of a dark, half of a light, and then you take a mid-tone and like do these zigzags in between. But the way my colors were working up, since I'm holding 2 strands, I was like, oh, that's not essentially my middle tone down here was not going to stand up against the like lighter tone enough. So I decided to just keep going and almost fade it.
Yeah, I love this.
Thank you. I'm very happy with how it is turning out. This is a black and a medium gray held together, and then it moves into a white and a black being the stripe. And then somewhere around like right here, I switch it so instead of everything being held with a black, it comes up here and then everything's held with a gray. And now we're moving into, I'm at the section now where everything's just going to be the white and the gray.
This is fantastic. Will you show off your cones if someone didn't see it on the last episode?
So I am using cones from Woolly Knit, or The Woolly Knit, which is a UK distributor of yarn.
Cone dealer.
Yeah, they don't just do cones, but they've got the cones. Like you can get it in fingering weight in like a woolly wool. You can get a fingering weight in a merino.
There was
superwash cotton. They do Aran weight. So they have lots of options.
I feel like woolly knit has gotten its time in the sun lately because Bethany from Well Loved Knits had like a make along with them.
Yeah.
And well, kind of like sponsored by that, I guess you could say. And there was like coupon codes and stuff like that, but I've seen these like a lot of places.
There's been a lot of stuff about like the cotton ones specifically lately for like summertime. I put in a big order many months ago. I had like a bug in my bonnet about getting a bunch of tones that I would use. So I got a bunch of black, I got some cotton, and then I got these as like contrasts.
They're wonderful.
This one is the medium gray, or what is it? Dark gray. I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. This one's dark gray, and this one's skidoo net. And I also used their black version. It might even be called jet black. I don't have it. I'm not going to pull it out.
It's black.
But these are made from merino, Suffolk, and Jacob sheep blended together, and all of their yarn is like muslin free and traceable. So like you're getting a affordable, high quantity amount of yarn that is like as ethical as you can get.
If you are in the United States and you order this, like ask your friends if they want to like go in on this with you, because the shipping is kind of insane just to get it here. So you either have to like order a lot to make it worth your while, or like I said, like try to split it with a yarn pal or something, because it's incredibly expensive shipping, but well worth it.
I think when I did my order, I got 6 skeins. I got 5 that were wool and then 1 of the cotton. And I think I probably paid around like $50-$60 for shipping. But at that price point for the amount of yardage I was getting,
it's a lot of weight too.
Right. So like there is a cap on when like the shipping is not affordable anymore. So just keep, like, I wouldn't buy 1 cone is the moral of the story. Get a few. Make it worth your while. But I'm very happy with this. I think this is going to be like a really great like shoulder shawl, which I don't really have. I think it'll be like perfect for my winter jacket, which is what I'm thinking about, is because it's that like slate gray. It's not a true black. And I just love the, what would you call it? Like primitive, like just overall look of it from it being wool and like a very simple pattern.
Very rustic.
I do expect this yarn is going to relax a bit. I think it's going to be bigger than it is, and it's also going to bloom, so it won't be as see-through, which it's not very see-through now, but I also really love how that looks on the camera. I wasn't expecting that to be so
it's beautiful.
Fun. But I'm very excited about it. This has been fun to work on. It's the perfect amount of
interest.
Like, like it's enough to keep me occupied, but like it's just garter stitch and like it was so quick.
Deserve that.
This is where I was before I ripped out last time. It was like all the way down here.
Yeah.
So it's like exactly the amount of knitting I can do in 2 weeks. Also, like I would have finished this if I knit every night. But
what are you halfway or over halfway?
Over halfway. I'm like very close to casting off.
That's wonderful.
I think I only have 1 decrease section left, and it's just the white. We're not striping anymore.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
That's what I've been working on. I'm very much looking forward to this. Very sad that it's not going to be cold enough to wear it. But I think it's going to be a very like comfort piece.
Oh yeah.
And I know we were talking about the shaping because of all the weird like increases and decreases. It is kind of like a wonky shape.
Yeah.
But I think I like that. It almost looked like if you cut a scrap of fabric.
Right. Well, also, who the hell is looking at the shape except for us in this moment? Like, even right now, like, this looks perfect on you. My, Find Your Fade shawl by Drea Renee Knits turned out like that, and it's supposed to be just, like, an even triangle, and it was not.
Yeah.
Like, it just simply wasn't. I think there's a lot more, like, points and, like, lumps and stuff on shawls than, like, unless you're knitting a straight triangle shawl and it's, like, a bing, bang, boom, like, we're just doing even increases, like anything that's going to give you like shape or whatever, you know, it all impacts like the overall silhouette of the project.
I do think it's going to block out pretty just, you won't see a lot of those.
I think you're going to be in love with this.
Yeah. This is one of the more like better things I've made, not in terms of like the quality of making it necessarily, but like how the result will play into how I like to dress and live my life.
Yeah.
Like just something scruffy and warm and squidgy. These words all mean things, I assure you.
Yes.
But that's what I've been working on is my electric sheep shawl. And
that's
it's just about done.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy with it. I love like getting the sheepy smell while I'm.
I can smell it like just when you had it on your shoulders and stuff, and I love it. It smells so good.
It like triggers comfort to me.
Yeah, me too.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
What are you working on?
I'm just knitting on this stupid sock tube. I'm almost at here. Actually, let me finish these 3 stitches and I'll show you. I've gotten to a point on this sock tube that's exciting and I can explain why. But I decided, I think with this specific tube, I'm going to film a tutorial because those people were asking about it on Reddit and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, she doesn't have a tutorial. And I was like, I should just do this. It's not hard. So I think I'm going to make like a lackluster half-ass tutorial for like how I do socks with one giant tube. So I've gotten to an exciting point because since I'm going to make obviously like 2 socks and just cut this in half of whatever the final length of it is, I'm at the point where when I fold it in half, like my heel will probably be about, I would say like here, and then assuming the toe is here. So everything in my mind, this is how I like motivate myself as it relates to the sock tube. From here up, for me, is going to be like ankle now. So I have, like if I really wake up one day and I'm like, I fucking hate this tube, like I can just be done with it, you know? But whenever you're like only halfway up the foot, you know, you're like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like I don't feel like it. Sometimes tubes go really fast. Sometimes they don't. Like there's no rhyme or reason for it. I love this yarn and I'm like very excited to have these socks, but this has just been like a really slow going tube for me for some reason. So I'm just at the point now where like I could stop if I wanted to, which is like funny that that's motivating, but it is whatever.
Yeah, it's all on your terms now. You're not like being forced anything.
Right. So that's pretty exciting. Sock tube. I'm gonna just film like I said, like a really half-assed like explanation of what I do. It's really not crazy. It's not like rocket science or anything, but I feel like once you look at it once, you're like, oh, I could do something similar to that and it would be fine. But I do like my little tube projects. I like to preserve like the color
Put
stories.
that in closer too. I want them to see. I feel like the blue is getting lost far away.
There's blue and green in this, like neon green. Looks like a box of colored pencils. This is Misty Alpaca. The tag looks like this, hand-painted fingering weight sock yarn. It is alpaca, merino wool, silk, and nylon. So the fabric that it's making is like absolutely gorgeous. It's very nice, rustic, but like not itchy or anything like that. So that's actually my only whip right now, which is crazy because at one point I had the blanket, I had this top, this sock. My whips were like getting out of control. I'm usually like a one-shot, like, you know, kind of person, but
how freeing is it though to know like you could cast anything you wanted and like cast anything on at any moment and like you're not being crazy.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like that's nice for me. Yeah, that's your only whip, right?
So because I was coming to an end with that project, which I really needed something like that with my electric sheep, is to just knit and have a nice time and like get it done quick. I just needed something like that. I decided to cast on something else just to have it like ready to go. And the shawl isn't really like travel able.
Yeah, because of the cones.
There's too many cones and like I like to take something to work.
Too many cones.
So I decided to cast on, since we're still in the Fresh Fiber Make-Along, which is a make-along that we are hosting on Instagram and, you know, talking about it here on YouTube, to try a new fiber. I figured I would cast on with some cotton.
Ooh!
So this is a cone of brushed cotton, also from the Woolly Knit.
What
Same
the
thing we
fuck?
just talked
This is
about.
nice.
Isn't it?
Dude. Yeah.
We can talk placing in order if you want.
Yeah.
So I decided to cast on the Marigold Tea.
Shut up. This is so exciting.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. I will insert a picture because this is doing nothing for anybody by showing
it's
this.
like a banana.
There was a couple cotton shirts. There's the button-up one that you probably thought I was gonna make.
Yes.
But I wanted something a little bit more low impact for my first time using cotton. So the Marigold Tea is basically a a boxy,
I'm looking it up,
oversized t-shirt that has like a bit of lace detail. And I just figured if the cotton gets weird and it fits, and it fits wonky, then it won't really matter because it's just a t-shirt anyways.
Dude, wait, hold on.
Isn't that like big sock energy?
Yeah.
It seemed really practical. It seemed like something
beautiful
that I might wear on the day-to-day basis. So I bought the pattern, and then as soon as I bought it, I realized this construction isn't what I thought it was going to be.
No, it's horizontal.
Yep, so I'm starting with the sleeve, which is great because that's also like a swatch too. So you could stop yelling at me to swatch because I'm doing it, sort of.
She's doing it.
But yeah, so this is all I have. I'm on the stockinette portion. I am about to start the lace, I think, but it was just nice to have something started to like jump right into the second I finish that shawl. I also have my North River Knits stitch marker on here since it's springtime. Woo.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think that this pattern is worth 10 Canadian dollars?
Oh, hot topic, huh?
I'm just wondering because like
I
have actually something that I want to talk about as it relates to this.
Is this going on record?
Yeah, this is going on record.
This is going on record.
I think that this is like honestly something that I want to talk about because I have a formal complaint.
Right. All right, so I'm willing to accept all hate for what I'm about to say. I stand by my opinions. I do think people need to be paid for their work. I think there are a lot of very expensive patterns out there that don't warrant the price that they are.
I think that there's a lot of patterns out there that are really expensive that totally warrant it.
Yes.
I was wondering, like...
I haven't knit enough of this to say if I
think... yeah, you don't read the pattern.
I haven't read ahead. I don't know yet, to be fair. But I do think there's a lot of times where I think, oh, that's really cute, and I'm buying a very expensive pattern. Because I'd say a lot of patterns are close to the $10 mark now, just as a baseline. I mean, that's Canadian dollars. It's cheaper for us. Yeah. I don't know what Canada's
like. I feel like I'm used to seeing a lot of like 7, 8. That's the only reason I was asking.
Right. 7, like 6 and 7, I'm like, okay. This makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like, anything upwards of $8, I feel like I need to be learning something new from this pattern, or there has to be, like, if there's ways to modify things like your sleeve separate from your, like, chest circumference. Like, the measurements are very spaced out, and there's, like, reasons for the sizing to be more customized. That totally makes sense. I see a lot of stuff that is, like, very basic, like, raglan shaping that is very expensive, and I don't really understand where it is because it's just regurgitating work with slightly different numbers. I also see stuff that is like a very small item, like a headband or something.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like headbands, and like I've been looking at those like bandanas like that people tie around their hair and stuff like that, and like I'm sorry, like $8 for a bandana pattern that I could have just fucking googled like granny triangle.
Right. And I understand this might not be a popular opinion because we're all about like people earning money for the work they do, and I'm all for that. I'm open to like any like manner of discussion somebody would like to have about this. But I do think a lot of it is people seeing what they could charge and charging that regardless of the amount of work that's put into it. And I think that could be said for a lot of different industries outside of pattern design. I think that's just where it is like somebody who does a lot of work.
Both of our industries that we work in, honestly.
Like keeping your pricing competitive, but more. So like they see a very well-developed pattern for like $15, and now they're charging $12 for something that doesn't have the same amount of information and work. So that doesn't actually have anything to do with the Marigold pattern. I haven't worked on that. I have no opinion on that yet.
I was just wondering.
But I do feel like pricing is disproportionate in a lot of ways.
It's definitely like all over the place.
Yes, I think designers are gonna come for me or you or us on that one, but like I stand by my opinion.
I don't think there's anything to come for. Some of the patterns are worth what they're worth, like what they're charging, and then some of them aren't. And even in the same breath, I see the opposite where I like buy a pattern for $5, or like I get it for $4.50, like with a sale or something, and then I open it and I'm like, Jesus Christ almighty. You know who I think is not charging enough for their patterns? Telly Bean Knits. Her patterns are insane. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. There's always written instructions, chart instructions, and I think that's another one where like I she was promoting a shawl that I got on sale, and I was like, oh, it was like $4.50 or something like that. And then I opened it and I was like, Jesus Christ almighty, like this is a very intuitive, like, you know.
Right.
So I honestly, like, I don't fucking care. I think that there's nothing for us to come for, because it is, and it's just like a case-by-case basis at this point.
I don't remember the designers specifically, but I do remember like a month or two ago, I was looking at probably cardigan patterns, and I saw one, and I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful. I think I want to make this. And I clicked on it, and you could kind of tell from the pictures that this was supposed to be more of like a high fashion or like higher end vibe. And it was like $20 for a cardigan pattern. And I said, absolutely not.
Right. No.
Because I think it was just, and I could be making this part up, so like,
yeah.
But I think it was like similar to what I was working on. It was just like a half fisherman's rib cardigan.
Yeah.
Which is just very standard.
Right.
There's nothing groundbreaking about that. And I just couldn't justify paying $20 for a stitch pattern I already know how to do, that I could figure out how to make if I gauge swatch.
Right.
Because when you break down a pattern, that's all it is you're just figuring out what your square of math is, and then making measurements.
Yeah.
So, the end.
Yeah. I think that's just interesting. I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
Yeah. Pricing's all over the place.
It really is.
That's why I love a good free pattern when I find one.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. But that is all I have.
That's fun.
To circle back. That's all I have right now for my knitting related activities. It's Preween. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I have been pumping the brakes to not drive everyone around me nuts, but the next
I love it. I'm ready. Let's
the next time you see me, just know Preween is activated.
Can you please explain Preween instead of just keep saying it over and over again?
Preween is something that happens in my soul every summer that is all the time that leads up to the Halloween season. Yeah. So like if you're a crafter like us, like everyone here I'd imagine, if not, what are you doing? You know, you just like watching.
They're here for the feet.
Here for the feet. I have like self-imposed rules where if I want to decorate the house with holiday decor, I have to make it myself. It keeps me from like over consuming, and it keeps my partner from thinking I brought a bunch of like home goods crap into the house. So the 2 months, July and August, before Ween, which is September and October, that's my pre-Ween. That's me working on a bunch of like seasonal projects. Autumnal themed nonsense, so that it's ready when festivities start. Right. So it's pre-Ween, and I have been preparing to make a Halloween sweater, an autumnal sweater. So I've been like not properly swatching, but like doing some color work, seeing what works. So gear up for that next time. Just get ready. Maybe we should have a Ween make along or something. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Big Ween. That's interesting. There you go. Now you know about pre-Ween. Celebrate it with us. Yeah. Join us. Celebrate pre-Ween. No, seriously, I think there are a lot of people there's like halfway to Halloween make along sort of thing. Like it's about that time where you have to start thinking about like advent calendars if you want one, you know, like. Summer does nothing for me. It does nothing. All I do is sit here and like wait, you know, wait for solstice to pass, and then I'm like, let's go. We're in. Yeah. So. What other yarn-related stuff do you have in your little pile over there? I have an exciting whip that's going to be starting next week at some point. Or later this week. I don't really know. So I am doing my first ever mystery knit-along, which is great. I'm doing the Supernova Mystery Knit-Along by Amber O'Brien. All that aside, I have my first mystery knit-along, and I set all my yarn aside, and I wanted to show it off here on the podcast before I end up caking it all up and ending up with like random amounts of it and stuff, because it is very beautiful kind of all together. So this mystery knit along, if you have no idea what a mystery knit along is, it is a pattern that you buy. They give specs in advance
that you would need to like reasonably complete a pattern of like, this is the weight of yarn you're going to use. This is how much you need. This is like, if there's a contrast color, they'll give you recommendations like so that you can make an informed choice about what to buy and stuff. And I'm doing this one because I've seen a lot of like Amber O'Brien's other patterns, and I have a bunch of her patterns and they're fantastic. It seems like she's like the queen of scrappy kind of Advent inspired like shawls and stuff like that. So I'm like 100% confident that I'm gonna end up with a finished product that I love, and also like I'll wear any shawl. Like I just don't care the way that I care with like garments. Like I'm a picky pain in the ass about it. So the theme of this make along is kind of like galaxy galactic inspired or whatever. So Amber O'Brien's sample yarn, and she was like selling these kits or whatever, but like I'll be damned if I'm gonna spend $150 on a kit. I just won't do it. Dark contrast, like, or the dark main color, and then all the contrast colors. There's 12 mini skeins were like super vibrant color pops, like blah blah, all that stuff. So I had that in my mind. Woo! I had that in my mind, and I wanted to put something together kind of like on my own terms, you know what I mean? So I have this for the main color. This was in my stash for quite some time. I think I got it a few yarn crawls ago, but I don't know. This will actually probably show up better than I think, but it's like a very, very dark midnight, like blue-black with like flecks of brown in it, which I thought was perfect for like the prompt of like the space stuff. It is by Rags Fiber Art out of Pittsburgh. It's a... What?
Romeo.
Yeah, the colorway is called Romeo, which is super cute. It is merino, nylon, and kid mohair, so it is like a very structured feeling sort of fingering weight. It's not like super duper soft, but it should be fine. So super mohair sock is my main color. And then I'm not even gonna try to put these in any like nice sort of order. I have
that picture you took of the fade.
Yeah.
Text it to me and I'll...
So I have a picture of this that I will send to Sock, but this is my contrast colors. Aren't these cutie?
It was so fun watching you just like make decisions on which ones you wanted to use.
So these are so pretty, and then here's the main color. So all together, like I really think that the popping is gonna happen. I'm very excited about it. But I put, you know, a little bit of time into doing some shopping around because I was like, I'm gonna find a mini skein set. I'm gonna like treat myself, blah, 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 blah. So imagine my dragons when I get on Etsy and I see that everybody only sells mini skeins in like increments of 10 or like 25, and the 25 ones are like advent calendar prices, and I'm like, whoa, buddy, like I don't need all that, you know? And the make along doesn't say that it has to be a fade, but it like looks like a fade could be cool, blah, 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 blah. Other people are using fades, all this shit. So I'm like just looking around to see like, what on earth am I gonna do? It's kind of hard to plan strategically by using scrap yarns because I don't know what the finished product looks like. So like question mark, you know? So I do some looking around, and then I put on my Instagram story, yo, does anybody have information or the hookup or whatever on like where I can get 10 mini skeins, because I only need 10 of them for the mystery knit along that's coming soon. And my sweet darling angel baby, very good friend, very good tattoo client, Megan, who's Rainbow Cake Cat, messages me and says, hey, I have an extra advent calendar, do you want it?
What a baby doll.
And I said, excuse me, what? And Megan told me that there was a huge kerfuffle with the Royal Mail, and wherever she got this advent calendar from, they literally just sent her another one. And she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, because the second one showed up. You know, she's happy to get the first one, and then the second one was there, and she's like, oh, you know, what do I do with all this yarn? She's like, oh, you can just have it. Just have it. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? So, absolute angel, total sweetheart. But I've aligned, the one that she gave me was a full 24 or 25 skein set, like for an advent calendar. So I like lined them all up and like picked out this educated fade that you would have seen by now like on the screen. So I'm hoping that it reads very like spacey, supernova, make along, or I think I like managed to hit the theme. And I don't know if you can tell either from the picture or from these here, but this is a sparkle base. Like, excuse me.
It's gonna be so fun.
I can't wait. I'm very excited. So I'm really excited to cast that on. I'm gonna be at the beach with Nate and the girls when the actual first clue comes out. So I'll probably cast it on when I get back. I'm gonna do some really intense dishcloth knitting on the beach, you know. But this just like simply would not be practical to take with me.
Right.
So I think the clues are gonna come out every other week? Every week? Let me see. I'll tell you. Yeah, once a week. So there's 5 clues. So if I stay on pace with it, which quite honestly I don't understand why I wouldn't, there should be all 5 clues out by July 19th. Oh, apparently FO entries and prize drawing post by August 14th and entered into the August 15th prize draw. So apparently
nice.
There's a prize for this too, which is great.
That's fun.
Yeah. Dates will run on Australian AEST time. I have no clue what that will look like, but it shouldn't be that important. But yeah, I'm just really excited. I've always wanted to do a mystery knit along. The Stephen West mystery knit alongs have always stopped me because I cannot do brioche knitting and I just can't figure it out, and it freaks me out and it makes me feel scared, and I've tried it and I can't get it, and like I'm afraid.
I would love to help you because...
You know how to brioche knit? What the fuck, dude? Anyway, yeah. So I love all of his projects and stuff, but the brioche thing like really stops me a lot. I probably should just learn how to do that because I'm...
It took me like a full...
I've tried 4
weekend
times.
Day of just like watching various like, but once it connects in your brain, you'll be like, oh. And it's a lot easier with 2 colors. With one color, I can see why that's confusing.
Yes. So, I'm really excited. I can't wait. If you don't know who Amber O'Brien is, good Lord, please like look up her patterns. They're just all beautiful. Like 100% totally gorgeous. So, it looks like there's already 200 projects for this on Ravelry and it doesn't even exist yet.
That's awesome.
But
everybody's excited.
Yeah. I'll get you that picture and everything. Yeah. I am really stoked on this little thing. I think that's nice.
I debated myself. I'm like, should I do one with you? Because I do have a ton of like mini skeins sitting around. But then I'm like, I don't know if I could handle like the time pressure of like
well,
get
it's
this
just
done.
a week.
Yeah, I know. But you know me. I'm kind of like...
You can be a putz when you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely... I wouldn't call myself a driven person.
You're number 2. You're always number 2.
But that looks fun. I'm excited to see you work it up. Maybe next year we could do one together. I started weaving.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I wasn't gonna talk about it like this early in the year just because like I just got started on it, but like we're at my house and this isn't something I'm gonna like travel to Haley's, so I might as well just like show it while we're here.
Oh my god, this loom has seen so much.
I love my fiber friends. So this loom is like a child's Easy Weaver from like the 80s or something.
Yeah, the Easy Weaver.
And it was Brienne, who is Moon and Yarn, and then it was Haley's, who is Lug
I think
Nuts.
she even got it from like someone gave it to her. Like, she was not the original owner of it, so it's been passed down 3 times that we know of.
Yes, and then it was gifted to me, and
Can you hold it up?
Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to get her all...
Right.
Oh, this isn't on, that's why.
Oh, haha.
This isn't on. Let me... This is kind of cumbersome. I'm gonna, like, drop this a little bit, too. So this...
That looks so fucking beautiful.
Is what the Easy Weaver looks like. And I wanted to make a scarf on it, just to have like something to putz with, and just to show you like how much I have done briefly. Hang on, this is why I don't want to travel with it. It's just like annoying.
Yeah. We can just put in footage of it too.
That much. I have about that much done.
That's really beautiful.
And I'm just taking my time with it. It's like a fingering weight yarn.
Is it a scarf?
Yes. Well, what I'm thinking is I'll see where, like, I have no concept of
how long the warp is.
How long the warp is going to be. I made it very long, but like I know that changes.
Right.
And I don't know how far I'm going to get with like the skein of fingering weight yarn that I have. So I'm just going to see where it goes. If it's too short, I have no problem with it being like a table runner.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a little under the, you could even put under like house plants or something.
Right. So it is I figured something low stakes, and to get my super wash out of my stash.
I love this yarn.
I would use a Christmas colorway. So this way, even if it's hideous, it's just seasonal.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the wrong tag, but this is the yarn. I've had this for a while. I got it from like a D stash.
It's really pretty.
Years ago. It's so pretty. I love like the deep like emerald greens and the cranberry.
It has like a poison ivy sort of vibe to it, less like holly berry, more like poison ivy, like Christmas, but like interesting.
Yeah, it's very like Yuletide for spooky
people.
And it's doing like a micro stripe. Part of me is like sad I didn't make socks with this, but it'll be its own charming little thing. The colorway is called, I think, Sassy Santa by the Knitted Wit.
Yes.
But yeah, I just figured like this is something I could putz with. Again, if it looks like not what I want it to look like, it's a seasonal item. It doesn't have to like serve a purpose year round.
What a fun, different craft though.
Right, just something to, like sometimes when I'm having my coffee and like I'm not fully logged on, I just like sit at my table and I like put a few in.
Yeah.
It's very cathartic. I don't have to like work too hard. I did expect this to like take me a long time to complete though, which is why I started a Christmas project, because like, you know, maybe by the holiday season it'll be finished or close to it.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, I wanted to just kind of like show it off while we're here.
This is so fun.
Just my little weaving project. I'm always working on it, but I wouldn't expect me to check in with it too many times. We'll see what happens.
If this is your first time here at this podcast, our best friend Brienne she is at moon_and_yarn. Brienne recently opened up a yarn store that is, I would say, suitable for damn near any fiber craft you could want to pursue, but she also sells big hardware items there. So if you think like spinning wheels, drum carders, she sells looms, like not that specific loom because that's from like 1982,
right?
But she has standing looms, not like floor looms, but like medium-sized looms. Like, she is the expert on all this, but you should follow her on Instagram anyway, at Moon and Yarn Craft Room. There's a lot of really beautiful like inspo pics coming out of that shop, like just of the building and stuff like that. How she has everything laid out is just fantastic. But she would be a good resource if like this seems like something you'd be interested in. You don't even have to be local. You can just message her on Instagram and ask her, you know, for introductory sort of recommendations for what loom to get. She can tell you what she has and like all that stuff. But just wanted to like put a plug out there.
Yeah. You know, while we're talking about our lovely lady and her favorite craft, which is weaving. There she is. That's my last like yarny thing I've been working on. I do have like some other stuff, but that, just excited to share my little weaving baby. Just something different. I found I really like having like
variety.
Yeah, like I have my one hand sewing, I have my one weaving, I have my one spinning. Like, so this way when I'm having like my attention deficit problems,
I was gonna say your fits,
my afflictions.
Yeah.
I can just like shift around, and maybe like in the course of like one Sunday afternoon, I make a little bit of progress on several things.
Yes.
It's really nice for me to do it that way. I think that's my preferred system.
Love that. I don't have anything else of making. Everything else is just like acquisitions. Do you want to talk about your sewing?
Okay, we'll talk about sewing and then kind of like slide right into our make along update. So as I mentioned earlier, we are doing the Fresh Fiber make along. The hashtag for it is Fresh Fiber MAL on Instagram. We are running it through the end of July.
Yep.
And the encouragement encouragement is to use a fiber for any craft that you do, you know, even if it's like fabric, fiber, or whatever. And
that's new to you.
New to you. Just try something you have not used before, and then just share it on Instagram, and you'll be entered to win some prizes. So in the spirit of the Fresh Fiber Make-Along, I wanted to contribute some things. So I started putting together some bags. I'm probably the only person who shows like half-made bags because they're...
No, but this is the most important part.
So I made a couple as prizes here. Let's get started. We'll start with some of these cuties. So I'm not going to quilt these. I'm just going to leave them patchwork. I had some issues with the interface I was using, so I decided to not use it for these ones. But look at this little honey bag. So
adorable. Just
like cotton, like quilting cotton, and some canvas bottoms. They're going to be little drawstring bags. And I wanted to make a little something for everybody. So this is like my spooky one. And then I made this one, which is like some sweet honey bees.
Love that.
I just wanted to hit like every color.
Yeah.
So these ones are slightly bigger. And you can kind of see that the interface got a little weird.
Oh, that's fine.
Which I didn't care for it, and I didn't want to like risk goofing up my quilted or my patchwork bags because I thought they were honeys. But these ones are going to be a little bit bigger. Got this little green one.
That's pretty. I love the way that reads on the camera.
I know. They're all just like special in their own little ways. So we have these two that are plain, and then these two that are patchwork.
I think I'm gonna steal this idea and do canvas bottom on my bags.
I like it as like on a consumer standpoint because I love being able to like, even this one has it, like I love being able to just throw my bag on the ground and I don't have to worry about like getting a stain or
well, like especially if you're like knitting on like a fucking train or something, or you're in your car, like, you know.
I worry less about like something poking through it.
Yeah.
Or the other thing too is like it saves you on your good fabric.
That's what it, yes, honestly.
So I made one purchase of like 5 yards of this black canvas.
Yep.
Like years ago, and I just like, it's just nice to have.
Yeah.
I did make one more, and this one's a bit more scrappy. I actually cut a bag apart to like get this canvas back because I don't have any more of this.
Oh.
But I made this little fruit one, and this was gonna be for Penny, which is Nate's 9-year-old.
Yeah, she's 9 now.
9-year-old daughter. Because Haley made a comment that Penny said, my bag I made her was cute.
This one.
She said, little guy.
Where did you get that? And I said, oh, Sock made that for me. And she was like, oh.
And I was like,
I like it.
Little honey, you're gonna get a little fruit bag.
Little fruit bag.
But
she's gonna literally shit herself. That's so cute.
I just like thought that these would be like fun for someone her age. They're like fun, and fruit are in right now. You know, like fruit are trendy. So I thought they'd go cute with the little fruit stitch markers too. She can get all set up.
That's so precious.
These are my bags I was working on. I made these yesterday. I have the lining all cut out. We dropped our sewing machines off this morning.
We did a responsible thing.
We took our sewing machines to be serviced, so I won't have them for the foreseeable week. But once I get it back, I'm going to finish these up, and these will be prizes, aside from pennies, for the giveaway.
Cute.
That's all I had. That's my sewing. And then what do you have to discuss here?
I have, as it relates to the make-along, we got some Happy Mail from our friend, Abby. Hold on.
Oh, we got a little note?
Yeah, we got a little note I wanted to bring up. So, Abby from Sam Sarah Stitches.
Oh, okay.
Sam Sarah. I'm stupid. So Abby wrote, Prickly Stitch Pod Pals, behold, some stuff for the Fresh Fiber Make-Along giveaway. I dyed the yarn myself, parentheses, shop opening soon, and also made the stitch markers. The 2 keychains are for you guys, or feel free to add them to the giveaway if they're not your vibe. Anywho, I love the pod and looking forward to it every couple weeks. Hail yourselves, Abby from Sam Sarah Stitches. Abby, I don't know how you knew that I'm a last podcast on the left person, but I totally am. Love it. So I want to show these goodies that we got for the make-along.
It's very sweet.
Very sweet. I am so excited about these. These are beautiful, and also Please touch and feel and experience them. Are they nice? Yeah. So we got 3 little minis from Abby. So these, tell me if yours are different. Superwash merino, cashmere, nylon.
The cashmere.
Yeah, gorgeous. So these are incredibly like lofty and like plump and luscious, all naturally dyed. So this one, naturally dyed with black beans.
Black beans?
Isn't that fucking crazy? Black beans, what's that one?
This one is naturally dyed with red onion skins.
Love that.
That like tan color.
Gorgeous.
This one is naturally dyed with turmeric.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Perfect for color work. Beautiful.
That'll be
so nice. Like 80, 10, 10 with the cashmere. Love it.
Very excited to like put these prizes together.
These are the little stitch markers.
Oh.
She said, I don't know if these are focusing. They're cute. I can't reach that far. Yeah, they're cute. They're beaded stitch markers. Very sweet. We got a little pack of incense matches, which are, I think I'm going to yoink these. I think I'm going to give the keychains in the giveaway to replace it, but I'm yoinking these because these are fantastic. Have you ever used or smelled these?
No, but I know you're an incense lady.
Oh, I just love them so much. Anyway, these are matches that you like light and they smell like incense, but it's just like a smaller portion of incense. But anyway, so then these bad boys will be in the giveaway prizes. These are little keychains. You could use them as like cute like tassels on a project bag or something.
You could clip your progress keepers to it,
Yeah.
which I'm a sucker for doing stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. So these are just adorable.
What a nice little sweet gift.
Little gift. Honestly, super stoked to have these in the make along. Love this like diversity that we're getting. And I actually had 2 other people reach out for make along prizes as well. So even on the next episode, assuming that they're shipped by then, we should have some more to share with you, which is great. I was totally content with like just our silly little stuff that we were giving away, but I think that these prizes are really like filling out, you know.
I think this is a great I think it'll be, like I said, I think it'll be really fun to make like tiny little like kits essentially of all the stuff we have to give.
Nice.
And that's just exciting. I love that we'll have just a day where we like sit and be like, yeah, and you get a new car, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody like,
It's gonna be a blast.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So can't wait.
Do you want to show off
Yes.
any of our entries
I
that
sure
we
do.
have on Instagram?
So we've been watching these entries come in and just continuously impressed with them. They're so beautiful. So let me pull up this hashtag real quick. This one is an Instagram only make along. If you're not on Instagram, I don't know what to tell you. But to enter, all you have to do is post on Instagram and use that hashtag, and then we're basically just pulling up the hashtag and looking at all the entries and going from there. Even in the last like 3 days, there have been so many more entries. So I wanted to share this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I commented on hers because I really liked that.
Yes. So Jasmine is Fiber Goth. Look upon her.
That's awesome.
How beautiful. Like what a beautiful finished object, but also like to use a new to you fiber with like that beautiful like mesh thing, like just gorgeous. So Jasmine said, finally had the energy to get some pics of my Mika Tea test. Oh, and it was a test knit too. That's awesome. By Yarn Me Up. So she said, I use Fibra Natura flax lace, 100% linen. Gorgeous. It was really rough at first and I couldn't knit for long periods at once. I got used to it though, and I think the breathability and lightweight fabric is definitely worth the strain. Interesting feedback from Jasmine. She said, I will say this yarn sheds so much during knitting and the first wearing. That's interesting. I didn't have that at all with the linen that I used, so that's fun.
Well, yours was wet spun, so I do think maybe we should look into if that made any difference in like its shedding or anything like that.
Just beautiful. Love that. Where
Are you on top or recents?
I'm on top, but I wanted to share this one too. So Knits by Anne made this shawl, and also look how cute this picture is. This makes me want to scream.
I love that shawl. The whatever that design is very like,
yeah. So this pattern is Pines and Needles by Sweater Freak. And then yarn is La Bien-Aimée. Oh, La Bien-Aimée, Euphoria Knits, and Small Batch Yarns. But just such a precious, like, sweet, finished object. Love that. And then there was this one I wanted to talk about. So this is the Eyelet Burst Shawl from West Knits, but this is by Worsted Wolf. I love how that turned out. What an interesting colorway, too.
Yeah.
It's like kind of gray, kind of brown. First take on using linen for the first time. It's a huge pain in the fucking ass.
I love that people aren't afraid to give negative reviews.
Yeah, like, don't. We're like one giant negative review. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
We need it, though. It's honest for learning.
This is not a soft-spoken knitting podcast. She wrote, I technically should have knit this piece way bigger, but I decided to cut it short because I was just over it. I'm a huge process knitter, and this just wasn't it. While I like the finished product, I won't be knitting anything larger with this fiber again. But, you know, I love that you tried it. I do like that you like the finished object, too. Like, that's awesome. And then this is the last one I wanted to show that was just on my radar. But Under the Water Sign made a V-neck sweater vest. And, like, look how freaking professional that looks.
Love that.
It's just, like, such a beautiful make. This was... I'm using New to Me New to Den by, oh my god, I can't even pronounce that, held with a strand of navy merino lace. So very interesting. She said the New to Den is a little too rough for me, so I think that was the new fiber. I've heard people talk about that. I feel like that's a thing that I hear like European podcasters talking about. Do you know what that is?
New to Den, I believe, I could be confusing this with something else, but I think the New to Den is that like unspun yarn that you see that's like pin drafted and whatever. Yeah. If you are not a person who likes a woolly wool, it's probably not for you. Yeah. That's where that roughness, I would imagine, comes from. It's not for everybody. You really have to like that specific texture.
Yeah. Interesting.
I could be wrong. New to Den could be something completely different, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Cool. Isn't that it? Those were just some highlights that I wanted to share. There's a lot of interesting like whip projects. I see a lot of people with like, I can still see the cable on their circular needle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's still time.
Yeah. There's still, I mean, there's still a month and a half. Good Lord. You can make like a hat. You can make a headband. You can make mittens. Like.
Right. I'm starting my second. I mean, mine probably will not be done by the end of our whatever, but like I'm still... I was going to cast something else on. I was like, no, we're encouraging new things.
New things. Yeah, I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah. Cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. We're done?
That's it. We're done.
All right. Well, the show's over. We're going to go hang out. We're going to go watch Twilight. And
I've never seen Twilight. This will be my first watch party.
I will stand by that. I love to watch Twilight. I'm not saying I think it's a good movie. I'm saying I love to watch it. I love how I feel when I watch it.
There you go. So. I am really looking forward to, like, by all accounts, I should have been a Twilight person, and I'm just not, you know? Like, I just didn't partake. It's like how I'm not on Twitter. Like, I'm just not on Twitter, even though everyone else in the universe is. I just didn't do Twilight.
It's just smut. That's all it is.
That's what I mean. I figured it's going to be, like, 50 Shades of Vampire crap, you know?
It's like 50 Shades of Hand-holding is what the series is.
I know what I mean.
You know, for 5 movies and then they kiss or something, you know.
Wow.
But that's what we're going to do for the day.
Yeah.
And that's it. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. There you go. All right.
Goodbye.